Hi, I'm Päivi, a face yoga teacher from Finland. I made a video recently about face exercises that you shouldn't do that might be actually causing more harm than doing good. That video became quite popular and I'm super happy about it. But even if you do those bad exercises for, let's say, 5 minutes a day, you can actually be doing more harm to your face with just your face habits. And I'm not talking about your skincare or your diet here. I'm talking about daily use of your muscles that you might be doing, well, wrong. At least I was. This is going to be a 2 video series. And in this first one, I'm going to talk about the usual suspects, the obvious bad habits. And let's start with the most obvious one, which is bruxism or grinding your teeth, whether it's during the day or at night. I used to suffer from bruxism. I made a video about it, how I tried even masseter Botox, how it didn't really work for me the way I wanted it to work, and how I eventually got rid of bruxism through a complete lifestyle overhaul. Okay, might not be feasible for everyone. This summer, I released a video series about methods that you can try to release any jaw tension that you may have. If you have constant tension in your jaw, you will be causing a lot of wrinkles around the mouth area, and of course, you're also damaging your TMJ joint, so TMJ joint, temporomandibular joint, so your jaw joint, and you might be ruining your teeth. So if you grind your teeth, whether it's during the day or during the night, you need to do something about it. It's a really bad habit. Second on my list is forward head posture. I talk about this a lot in my videos. Forward head posture causes turkey neck and contributes to the forming of jowls. So that's really bad for the appearance of your lower face. But it also can contribute to bad blood flow to your brain. It might cause neck tension. So forward head posture is something that you definitely want to get rid of. Now, I made a video, or I've actually made several videos about where I talk about bad head posture, how you can do all these exercises, where you try to align your ears with your shoulders, improve your posture. But whether it's grinding your teeth, bruxism, or bad head posture, it's mostly just being very aware of what you do and trying to get rid of that habit all the freaking time. Sorry. I know a method that will work, but this can sound like a lot. And it's setting a timer to chime every 15 minutes. And then when the timer rings, you correct your posture, you relax your jaw, whatever it is. When you do this for a week or 2, you will automatically start to correct your posture, relax your jaw every 15 minutes or even more often than that. And you will eventually get rid of the bad habit. Now, I understand that this is very different than trying to get rid of a bad habit that you only do, let's say, a few times a day or a few times a week. Now you're trying to get rid of a bad habit that you do all the freaking time. And that's why you need to think about it all the freaking time. Now, will setting your alarm to chime every 15 minutes get you fired from your office? I don't know, maybe. Maybe it's just explain to your coworkers what you're trying to achieve. Maybe they have a bad face habit that they want to get rid of, and you can do that together. Okay, third on my list is forehead tension. Very, very common. So a lot of people hold their eyes open with tension on their forehead. This used to be me. Sometimes it's still me. So a lot of people hold their eyebrows up with tension on the frontalis muscle, the forehead muscle. If you've been watching my videos, you know that it should be the ring muscles around the eyes that do most of the job. The frontalis muscle should be relaxed so that you wouldn't get any wrinkles on your forehead and so that your forehead could be tension-free and completely relaxed. This is especially important if you have a tendency to get headaches. To learn this, you need to practice a couple of minutes twice a day for months. Sorry, you're not going to learn this quickly. At least I didn't learn it very quickly. It took me like 5 months to learn to keep my forehead relaxed and my eyes open with the orbicularis oculi muscles. But you will get there if you just practice daily and pay a lot of attention to what you do with your forehead. Next on my list is frowning. I have a strong tendency to frown. Unfortunately, there isn't really any one exercise that would help you get rid of frowning. Once again, it's a habit that you have. I tend to frown when I look at my phone. No need to. My vision is perfectly fine, but for some reason I frown when I'm looking at something that is very close. So I just try to pay more and more attention to it. Sometimes just switch to selfie camera and be like, oh, okay, no frowning here, good. I also frown if it's very sunny outside. I need both sunglasses and a hat to cover my eyes to create enough shade so that I won't frown or so that I don't need to squint. Also, I need to wear an eye mask when I sleep. Otherwise, when it gets lighter in the morning, I will squint my eyes shut to get more sleep. So an eye mask helps there. So there's really not any one exercise that would help you release that tension there, the tension that causes the 11 lines. But you might benefit from daily face massage, just once or twice a day, just relaxing those eyebrows. Last on my list of the usual suspects of bad face habits is bad tongue posture. If you watched at least, let's say, 3 of my videos, at least one of them has mentioned tongue posture. The tongue should be firmly against the palate. Day and night, if you're not speaking, if you're not eating, the tongue should rest against the palate. If you let your tongue hang, you're more likely to breathe through the mouth, and mouth breathing is definitely a baddie. When you breathe through the mouth, like I do here now that I'm talking, that's really impossible to avoid. But other than that, I try to breathe through the nose as much as I can, because breathing through the nose has a lot of health benefits. When you breathe in through the nose, the air is moisturized, it's cleansed, it's the right temperature, and it's also very good for my blood flow to breathe through the nose. Mouth breathing is a really bad habit. Of course, you need it if you're really out of breath when you exercise. But other than that, just try to breathe through the nose. Even if you have the flu, just try to keep your nose breathing as much as you can. If you don't use it, you lose it. So having the right tongue posture, having the tongue against the palate, helps you maintain your nose breathing, because it's easier to breathe through the nose when the tongue is against the palate. And also the right tongue posture helps you avoid double chin. The most popular exercise to start learning the correct tongue posture is and then sticking the tongue up so that your tongue disappears behind the upper teeth and you can only see the frenulum under your tongue. So those were the usual suspects, the quite obvious bad habits that you might have on your face. Did any of these hit home? I recognized at least 2 that I used to do all the time. If you have some of these, just know that you are not alone. Please let me know in the comments if you are now trying to get rid of those habits. And in the next video, I'm going to talk about some less obvious bad face habits.